and welcome to Yemides Kitchen YouTube channel, your go-to channel for new Afro-Caribbean recipes, meal preps, plating and kitchen organization tips and tricks, as well as food business advice and ideas. If this is your first time joining us here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you're already a subscriber, thank you as well for staying with us and enjoying all our videos so far. On our channel today, we're going to be making puff. Like, of course, you guessed it, you saw it in the thumbnail. But guys, it is the easiest puff you can ever make. Trust me, we're only going to be using 5 ingredients and your puff is made. Now, for those of you who might not know what puff is, the best way I can explain it is they're kind of like mini dough balls, but they're really sweet. And trust me, like, they're really nice. Just let me show you how it's done, okay?
So the first ingredient we're going to be using is flour. So that's 1 cup of plain flour or self-raising flour, whichever one you've got in your house is perfectly fine. Then we're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. So that can be like normal granulated sugar or caster sugar, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of nutmeg. So this is grounded nutmeg that I've got at home. And then we're going to add in 1/2 tablespoon of yeast. I'm using fast action yeast, so I don't need to put it in water to activate it or anything. And then I'm just going to add just a pinch of salt to taste. And then I'm going to go in with my hand and just mix all of the dry ingredients together so they all mix with each other properly. This recipe usually makes about 2 servings, but trust me, it's too good and you're probably going to finish it at one go like I did. Next, I'm going to be adding some room temperature water. So I'm going to be adding the water in bit by bit and basically just mixing the dough together. Make sure you add the water in bit by bit so you're not trying to get a runny outlook of the dough. You're not trying to make it really thick. You're trying to find like the middle of those both extremes. So putting in the water little by little helps. So I've just added in a bit more water and then I'm just gonna mix it in a circular motion. I'm mixing it really softly, really light, and trying to get rid of all of the lumps that are forming. So you just need to mix it to this point so it's really nice and smooth. So just really take your time to ensure that it's really smooth and that you are mixing in the same direction every time. So my dough is already looking great, smooth, so it's not running and it's not thick either, it's just in the middle. So I'm done mixing my bowl, just getting rid of the extra bits on my fingers. You're gonna notice that already you will start to see like bubbles. I'm not sure if you can see it properly in the camera, but little bits of bubbles already happening in our dough. That's basically the yeast acting up. So like I said, I used fast acting yeast, and that means that I don't need to let this dough sit for too long. So I'm just gonna grab some cling film and just gonna cover it up. And then I'm going to put it in a dry area. I'm basically going to put it in one of my cupboards. And then I'm just going to allow that to sit for 45 minutes to an hour max. And then we can start to fry. So I'll be using a wok to fry my puff. I've added in about 4.5 cups of cooking oil. So on the side, I'm just going to prepare my plate where I'm going to put my puff in. And I'm just going to put some paper towels on there. I'm going to allow my oil heat up for about 5 minutes and then I'm going to grab my puff batter. I'm just going to take off the cling film and basically show you guys, like, if you can see the hole, the bubbles, whatever they're called, it basically means that it's risen and that's what you're going to need. So I'm just going to test if my oil is hot enough and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit inside and it should just pop back up. And then you know that the oil is hot enough and you can start adding more puff in. So I'm just going to be using my hands in directly. I know that there are different like techniques on how to put the puff puff in, and you can definitely try different ones. But since this puff puff is just for me, I just literally use my hands. I know you can use like a teaspoon method, that also works as well. But we're not trying to get perfect circles here. We just want to eat puff puff because I'm craving it. I'm just going to keep adding my puff puff into my oil. This is why I really like using a wok, because it's quite wide and then you can fit as many puff puff as you can in there. And I'm practically done, and look, my puff puff is already looking so good. They actually don't take that long to fry. So roughly about 3 to 5 minutes and they're done, depending on how hot your oil is. So I really want them to fry a bit more. That's why I'm not using high heat. So I'm just going to use my spoon to turn them around so that both sides fry properly. I'm going to keep turning it around, and already you can see how nice and brown and golden it's looking. Like, the smell itself is amazing. Once both sides are brown enough, especially to your liking, you can start to take out your puff puff. And look at that, guys. Like, I don't even think you understand. I'm already salivating just taking them out, and they smell beautiful and they look great. And you know, it didn't take us that long to make. And voila, your puff puff is ready to serve.
Thank you so much, guys, for cooking with me. And I know that some of you are already thinking,
wow, Yemi, that was really easy.
Yeah, I told you so. It's definitely meant to be easy, and I cannot wait to see how your own puff puff turned out. So make sure you tag us on all our social media platforms at Yemides Kitchen, most definitely. And if you've watched to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed yet, I'll give you 2 seconds. Okay, click that subscribe button right now. Thank you. And of course, make sure you take care, stay safe, eat well, and I'll see you guys in a bit.